Good morning, I'm Lynn and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. Let's go over to the barns and see what today has in store for us. Speaking of the dry ewes, and we can easily see that every ewe has lined up and is eating, which is a good indication that everyone's feeling well. And we have quite a consistent group here. When I talk about consistency, I'm looking at height, width, length. So you can see that their bum, along the tops of them, they're pretty well the same height. You can see along their bottoms, as long as their heads are all in, they're pretty well the same length. And that's what you like to see in your flock. And the reason you want to see consistency is it's easy to judge your sheep that way. When one's falling apart or one's getting obese or whatever, if they're generally all the same, those outliers will stand out more easily. They're more likely to produce consistent lambs as well. And consistent lambs going to market is what the markets are looking for. They don't want to have to be sorting your sheep when they go to market. They want them all pretty well the same size when you bring them in, and a lot of people will weigh them so that they're sending in lambs of equal size. We don't weigh them. We'll take a sample weight of like 3 lambs to gauge their average size, but because our lambs do tend to be consistent, once we know the weight, and we're aiming for 100-pound lambs, once they're within 5 pounds of that weight, either side of it, we start shipping, and people at the sales barn don't have to sort them out because they're all the same weight. And that saves us labor and time from running them through scales. So consistency is always a really good thing to have in your flock. So those of you who've been watching a while know that I don't do scripted videos. So each day when I go out, basically the topic of the day, if there is going to be a topic of the day, presents itself as I go along. And because I'm talking off the top of my head, I could missay something, which is why on my videos I usually have a little commentary written down as well, which may add details that I think I've missed or clarify things a little better. But if I do miss anything, or there's a point you think that I should have added to my comments as I'm doing the videos, I love to hear about that. And a lot of you do give me new ideas that I hadn't thought of, or insights and stuff like that, and that's always appreciated. So I do encourage feedback on anything like that, or experiences you've had as well, because you can, no matter how long you've been doing something, and we've been doing this over 20 years now, there are still learning opportunities every day. I always figure if you're not learning, you're going to start falling behind, because always there's someone who's thought of something you hadn't that can make your life easier, more efficient, more profitable, something. Right now we're in the lamb barn, which is the barn that I'm most nervous about going into these days, because I know the bad air is affecting them, so I want to make sure they're doing okay and It's always nerve-wracking that someone's gonna be dead or sick or whatever, but the boys here were just fed and every one of them ran up to the feeder. So we did give one of them a shot last night again in here, but right now every single one of them is up eating, running around. Nobody looks droopy or anything. So this pen, I'm gonna say, is good for today. Hi, Monster! There's Monster. Hi, Monty. He's gonna go find a spot. I'm in the ewe lamb pen now, where last night we came out to give some antibiotics to one of the ewes who is breathing harshly, and everyone's eating, so I'm gonna try find her because I put a red line on her back. Not seeing her offhand, so we know she's feeling better enough to be eating. Not on this side. Ah, here she is. She's got a line on her back there. Up top. That's her. No diarrhea. Head in the feeder, eating. Now she's moving around. Hi, sweetheart. You look very pretty. Now you see, and she just sneezed here, but she has grain all in her nose. That wasn't. And there, that one that was not feeling well just had a poop. She had solid poop, but not runny or anything. Hi, how you doing, honey? Her nose actually looks good as well. We will give her a follow-up shot again tomorrow because she had long-acting antibiotics. But like I said, the minute you see them acting differently, do a quick assessment, because when you catch things early, that's when you don't run into deaths and stuff. And knock on wood, we've been really lucky with the lambs this year. Nobody's died on us. Except right at the very beginning, I think there was a ram lamb that died, probably from overeating disease. And last but not least, we're giving a bale of hay to the rams. There's Geronimo, looking fantastic actually. It's always hard to know who you're going to use each year as a ram, because we have so many and you can only use so many each year. So we mix and match the rams so that we can have the most diversity we can each year. And there's Glad, too. Hi, you two. Hi. Hi. Hi, Glad. So these guys are getting dry hay, and they, you know how I told you they're kind of spoiled? They kind of put their nose up at the first bale. Not everybody's there. So I told them to go get another bale, a better one, and see how they do with this bale. Scotty, I just gave you your food. So we'll see which one they prefer. Hi, Ferdy. Aw, Scotty. I gave you food and you just couldn't stand it. You had to come get more attention. Yeah, I know. I know. It's a hard decision, food or attention, isn't it? We can't feed the rams wrapped hay because there's not enough of them to eat a whole bale in one day. So they will be eating dry hay. But they do get a corn supplement, so that keeps them in good shape. Now another interesting test will be which bale do they prefer, and will they sort themselves into a Dorset group and a Suffolk group? Because sheep are funny. You can do all kinds of studies with them. Hey, Glad. That's Gladiator. And these are the fall lambs. And that big guy over there, that's Ferdinand. He always has to eat like that. Gladiator has a really bad habit of always, when everybody else is occupied, going back to the trough to see if anyone left any morsels of grain. Yesterday was a totally sunny day and we had no rain in the forecast. And then last night around, I think it was like 10 o'clock, it poured for like 15 minutes. Like it was just one giant storm cloud and it disappeared and it was all stars and stuff after that. But the yard is wet now. So that was kind of a little bonus that wasn't even supposed to happen, and we'll take it. But the platform's wet, and I mentioned the other day it needs scraping up when it gets wet because they'll start limping if they're walking in the soggy mush. So Arnie's coming with a scraper now, and we're going to scrape this down to the concrete. And you can see how much moisture the straw holds when it's got a concrete base. That's why this main barn does have a concrete base, but when it has a concrete base, there's nowhere for the moisture to get away, and that's why all of our coveralls have a sand gravel base. We could have done concrete because concrete's obviously way easier to clean, but it's not nearly as friendly for the sheep. You get foot problems, they're lying in moisture, you get ammonia problems really quickly. We just don't like it at all. Cleaning the pen is of the least importance. The sheep health and comfort is of the utmost importance. And with gravel sand, you have drainage. So you're still going to get moisture, of course, but it will be way less. So your bedding pack will not need to be cleaned as often, and you'll never get it mucky. Yeah, I never see it mucky in the coveralls. It gets mucky in the concrete. Almost done. And it's going to be another hot day, so the sun will dry all that off, bake it dry, and then supposedly tomorrow it's supposed to rain and it will wash any manure off the platform as well. And that by the feeders is basically just manure, because there was no straw there. So you don't want them walking in that. Even if they're outdoors, there's no reason it has to be dirty. Today we're going to deworm the Suffolk dry ewes. So we're just going to round them all up and get them ready to go through the chutes. It's a very hot day, so we're just going to go slowly. Go on, you guys. So we're going to move all these sheep to the other side so we can do their deworming. We're supposed to be getting a storm this afternoon, so if we do, hopefully that'll cool things down a little. And they're all blocked up here because they see Arnie working, so when he's done, we'll shift them over. They don't like to move when there's stuff going on. Okay, we got them all off that half. Arnie's putting a security gate at the back so they don't go back. The hard part is always getting them into the actual chute at first, because all of them know something's going on, so they all want to go every way but where the chute is. So deworming adult Suffolks is a little easier than doing the lambs because we can reach them. That's the good thing about big sheep. The lambs are a lot harder because you can't reach them and they struggle more. But the big sheep are a little easier, so we just run them down the chute like that, treat them all. When the chute when one group goes through, then we have to round off a whole other group. Okay, these are the last ones to go in. And always when you have a small group, they're always the hardest to get in. So what he does is he gathers them up to the front of the chute, and then we have a little gate to lock them in. That gate's not with the chute, but it's a handy thing we add to the end to help gather them into the chute. And a lot of people you watch and they do the deworming and they actually go in the chute with the sheep and walk along their back and deworm them, but our Suffolks take up the whole chute basically, so you can't do it with the big sheep. So you have to do it from the side. Not to mention our chutes are extremely tall, so you couldn't be climbing in and out all day. It would be quite a bit of a nightmare. And what we're treating with is valbasin today. We are noticing that the ones that are in poor condition have whiter eyelids than those who do not. So the whole farm has been dewormed now, except for the little white lambs. They're still outside. They're not showing sign of parasites, and so we're not going to deworm them. So deworming is done, but now it looks like our septic tank, it's not really a septic tank, it's where the laundry drains out into. It's something that country things have. It's like a tank, but it's all plugged up and backing up, and we just had it fixed like 3 years ago, and now we're trying to fix it again. So after a lot of cursing and swearing,
oh really, Lynn?
What is that thing? What is that thing?
A grease pit for the
It's a grease pit. It's not a, what I said, septic tank or whatever. It's a grease pit. For some reason it was plugged, and it's a real charming mess. Smells like sewage, but it's not sewage. It's just what comes out of the kitchen sink and the laundry. And so he's been taking away the sludge with the bucket. But it's a stinky mess, but it looks like it's working now. I'm going outside to see what's going on out here. And it all looks quiet. Totally weird. Well, nobody wants a tornado, so we're gonna hope it does not come here. But we don't often get tornado warnings, so that was a strange one. Anyway, we'll keep you posted and let you know what happens tomorrow. Until then, thanks for joining us, and I hope you'll join us again tomorrow for the next day at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.
Did you put it on a movie? Maybe I can get some mosquitoes too. Oh yeah.
Look at them. You can see them.
Well, you know why?
Have you ever seen so many?
It's bad weather. Then they're going for they're going to be dead with this rain probably. See, I really took my time doing chores, and the sweat's pouring off me.
So this is 10 minutes later, and it went from clear sky to this now. But unfortunately, I can't see it here too much longer because I don't know, all these little black things that are flying by, I don't know if it shows up on the camera, but those are mosquitoes. I've never seen so many mosquitoes. But we're definitely getting a storm. I don't have it on fast motion or anything like that either. This is just regular as the sky's going. Okay, I gotta film from the house because I'm getting eaten alive.